So, Acolyte viewership, goodness me, not particularly great. We see a lot of the mainstream media trying to spin this as somehow a positive, but it's pretty goddamn bad, obviously. So, the Acolyte viewership failure exposed by official third-party report. Star Wars downfall revealed as Access Media tries to spin this as a positive. So we're just going to scroll through it. Basically, it comes from Luminate. Luminate actually works with Variety. I think it's Variety, if I remember rightly.
I think you're right.
Am I right? It is Variety.
I believe so.
I think I was getting confused with Deadline, but whatever.
Well, they're same company. It's all Penske Media.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, yeah. So they work with them. But basically, here it is. Here it is.
Those are the top 10 originals in streaming.
Yeah. Well, here it isn't, is the point that I was trying to make. Before you rudely interrupted, Marvin, I was trying to make a joke. I was like, here it is. Oh, wait. No, it's not actually here, is it? So this is the top 10 TV originals. And effectively, The Acolyte had 2.7 billion minutes watched. 2.7 billion minutes. It sounds relatively quite high, but it's really not. You know, Fool Me Once, 12.11 billion minutes watched. Bridgerton, 11.07 billion minutes watched. And we just go down and down and down and down and down. And, you know, if you're looking at the 2.7 billion minutes watched for The Acolyte, I mean, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. I think what's so surprising about this, in a good way, actually, is Paramount Plus. Like, Paramount's a company which has not been doing great stuff, like in movies and things. They've struggled. You know, it's not a huge surprise to anyone that they've been struggling. But Paramount Plus seems to be actually doing all right in terms of the streaming wars.
Of course,
like Paramount Plus is doing all right. Like,
yeah, thanks. Taylor Sheridan is doing all right. Let's be
he's doing great. Yeah,
Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan is holding them up on his shoulders right now.
Yes,
100%. So you got Landman and Tulsa King, and effectively, yeah, The Acolyte was so bad. It's not anywhere even close to the number 10 on the top 10 list. And so we scroll through some of this as well. So what's this? The Acolyte versus Disney Plus competitors. So The Acolyte standing as Disney Plus's second most watched, because that's kind of what they're going with. They're like, wow, it's amazing, second most watched. Yeah, it's still really, really bad. Still really, really bad. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, 3 billion minutes watched. And again, you're just looking down this. Look at everything. Disney Plus is so bad right now. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is their top 10 shows of 2024. Look at the numbers. And this is the top 10 out of all the streamers. If I was Bob Iger, I would be looking to shut down Disney Plus because it cannibalizes on their box office. So they're making less money there, but they're not making any money for, like, no one's watching their stuff here anyway. It's so bad. I'd love to see, and I don't know if Luminate actually has that, but the figures that they have for like movies and things, whether the movies are actually getting good, you know, sort of good viewership or not. Because I don't reckon they are either, to be honest. But this is terrible. This is horrendous.
Well, I mean, the released information for Deadpool and Wolverine should be a strong indication of whether or not there's any real viewership of films on the streaming system, at least specifically Disney Plus, because number 2 movie in the United States throughout the year 2024. So you should be able to bounce off of that, I would think.
The Percy Jackson thing is actually worse than it looks, because if you look at when they start counting the minutes for the 2024 report, they start on December 29th, 2023. Percy Jackson and the Olympians came out on December 20th, 2023. So its premiere, which is typically a huge spike in viewership, is not even counted on this list. So it's actually even higher than the Acolyte. And what kind of cultural significance did the Percy Jackson and the Olympians Disney Plus original series have on the world? Like, I've heard people say it was not bad, but like nobody's talking about it. It's Star Wars got beat by a show you've never heard of.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely 100%. 100%. So bad. This is so bad. You can see sort of the figures trailing off here.
The episode by episode breakdown it's the biggest mark again, and that's why I laughed so hard, because all these outlets were trying to be like, this proves it's a success. I'm like, okay, so either you didn't read it or you didn't want other people, or you assumed that the audience wasn't going to read it, because this looking at the 8th episode, the final episode, the finale, the viewership for that.
That's so bad. Oh yeah, what is that? That's just trying to scroll over here. What's that? Under
a million.
Under a million. Well, that's still minute. Oh, it's views. Yeah, so under a million views.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in America. So, because this will probably only be America, I would imagine.
It's Nielsen's ratings. Oh wait, no, this is Luminate. Yeah, it's probably just America. Yeah,
but it is probably still just America. So, but that's horrendous, because that's their target market, Americans. That's the market that they want to have, basically. So if they're only getting 1 million, I mean, that's so bad. Well, not even 1 million, actually. That's awful. God awful. Yeah, not good at all. We kind of knew this anyway, but this just affirms it once more. And you see this. So do you want to rattle off this, Marvin?
Yeah, sure. So what you're seeing here is the viewership compared to other Star Wars series. That middle line right there, that's the Acolyte. The one above it is Ahsoka, which, as you all know, did not set the world on fire. Ahsoka is considered a failure by just about everybody, and it was light years ahead of the Acolyte. And there was never a period of time where the Acolyte came anywhere close. And the number below that is Skeleton Crew, which you can be like, well, the Acolyte did better than the Skeleton Crew. I would argue that the Acolyte killed Star Wars, and that's why nobody watched Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
But also, it was well, yeah, true. Yeah. God, so bad.
It's very bad. I don't think there's any argument that Star Wars is literally dead. It's not even on life support anymore. I mean, it was
teetering when the Acolyte came out, Culture, and then I think the Acolyte was just the death blow.
Yeah, and I think from that point forward, nobody in their right mind could actually insinuate that Star Wars has an audience anymore. It just doesn't. I mean, if this is what you're seeing out of your Star Wars, it's so fragile that it is true. And this is a funny story that was put together by the boss over there at that Park Place, WW Pro himself. It's a story that was put together that describes the fact that Star Wars is so weak. If Snow White performs terribly on March 20th, and from that point forward, after its release date, it could literally kill the next several Star Wars films, because they're all girl boss power. Like, I dropped a video on that last night, and I was like, wow, this could officially be the death of the girl boss over at Disney, because
it's not going to be the death of the girl boss, because they're coming out with that bloody Rey movie. So
the commentator. Go ahead and break it, Marvin. Sorry.
So basically, what Pro reported was, according to his sources, they are watching the Snow White performance, and if Snow White performs badly, it could mean bad things for the Rey movie, and it could mean bad things for even Frozen 3.
I doubt Frozen 3.
Frozen 3 is going to come out hell or high water, but I mean, they just hired their third writer for the Rey movie. It would be very easy for that movie to just quietly never get made. Or is it fourth?
I think it's the fourth.
I think that, well, the first one that was hired was 2 people. It was a writing duo. So technically, yes, it is the fourth writer.
Yeah.
But it was
the third swap, but the fourth writer.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Star Wars has been on life support for a long time. It's just, they flooded the market with Star Wars, but it was subpar and bad Star Wars, and apathy's just set in, and people have gone, no, thanks. There's also no, there's just no sense of urgency to watching the material anymore, like because it's not good enough. You know, it's not like it's like every other week there's something new Star Wars, which if the brand was in a much better state, people would be chomping at the bit to watch it, but it's not. So people are like, yeah, I don't actually care anymore.
That's the problem, right? There's no FOMO. There's no fear of missing out because you made it such an everyday thing. And the problem is that the everyday thing you made was quite duty, and people don't want to eat duty.
Yeah, but literally every day, because it's just they've cheapened it by putting it on the small screen, which makes it more accessible. But when you make something more accessible to people, it's actually just basic economics, to be fair. Like on anything, you make something more accessible, it devalues it because it's available to everyone, right? And that's quite literally just basic economics for anything. Trade, world trade, more accessible, cheaper then. Like there's no. Yeah, I don't know.
There's
the
no
value
quality. There's no quality to it. No, it's just, and again, like you said, nobody wants to eat a poo sandwich, right? And they in Star Wars and Marvel has been a succession of poo sandwiches.
And this did cost, was it like $230 million?
230 million. Yeah, Jonas J. Campbell confirmed that through UK tax filings. Where did it go? Because this show looked like poo sandwich. I mean, the show looked absolutely terrible. So I mean, unless they were weaving gold and diamonds into their costumes and eating Kobe beef and lobster at catering, I don't know where all this money went.
Maybe they actually built a lightsaber just so they could cut her hair in that episode.
I hope so.
Did you think about that?
I did not think about that, but now that's all I can think about.
Can you imagine Disney? They actually built a working lightsaber only to cut someone's hair. That's the kind of thing they would do.
I can see it. I can see it.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, anyway, look, the Acolyte, complete bag of shit, and no wonder it got cancelled.
Can somebody please explain to me how her hair did not ignite?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can explain it to you. The show is terrible. There was a fire in the vacuum of space.
Okay.
Yeah, that did happen. That was in the first episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did happen.
Jeez. God, that did happen. Wow. Oh well. Anyway, I don't have much. Anything else to say on this? And then we'll just sort of shuffle on from
here. Star Wars is dead.
Amazing, excellent stuff. All right. Well, let's move on.